Welcome to the Overanalyzers, a weekly podcast where we talk about how to learn, improve, and achieve our ambitious goals. I'm Dan. I'm building an art empire, and Mike is fixing software. Today is May 17th, 2026. Mike, I've got I've got some problems. Some I'm wondering if you can help me. And I don't even want to waste time with a recap of last week. I just want to jump into it because it's bothering me.
All right, let's do it.
I was accepted, as you know, but one of my goals this year was to get into an art market, like an art convention, and exhibit as a vendor, selling my independent art, my personal art
Yeah.
that I've been working on over the last few years. Well, I got into one. I have been accepted. I've applied to many of them, and I finally got into one. It's an oddities market in Orlando. It's pretty cool. I went to it last year. And I think it'll be perfect, but it's okay. It's August 29th, which is what the hell's today? I just said the date, May 17th.
Yeah.
June, July, August. So I got about 3 months. The 3.5 months. It's well away. So I have time. But am I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm I'm struggling. Okay, so I'm trying to form a question for you so you can help me answer it. There are so many different products and different things that I need to make, of course. And, it's going to take a lot of work to make these things. I'm also trying to balance how much money I spend on them. I've already made a few products, and it costs money up front just to test the product, just to see if you
Mhm.
like the product. I guess my question is, how do I simplify all of these things? Because I have a bunch of different products, a bunch of different like money going into this. I need to think of it like a business. How do I make money off of all of these things? There's all these different inventories. I've never done anything like this, ever. All these different inventories. I'm balancing it also against like starting an online store and putting all of these same products up there. I'm also trying to make YouTube videos on all this stuff while also trying to make new art for all of this stuff and run a Patreon and work full time and maybe sleep if there's time left over. But I guess I'm trying to figure out how to simplify all of the inventory, making all the products, all that stuff. I don't even know how to ask a question. That's how
Yeah.
frazzled I am right now.
Uh,
Just help, I guess is the
Okay.
question. Help.
Well, okay. First off, congrats. That was a big goal.
Thank-
It happened. So that's huge. Amazing. You said you're kind of freaking out, which is
A little bit. I'm really excited, but it's
I know.
more I'm just okay, I'll shut up. Just go ahead.
You said you're freaking out, so we're gonna go with that. We'll need to recalculate that, which is another way of saying that you're experiencing stress or trying to get your head around some of the unknowns and everything. So let's just start with that. If you had to dig a giant hole or move 1,000 cinder blocks, you wouldn't be stressed about it. You would just not want to do it, and it would be a lot of work, right? Like the freaking out, feeling stressed. I know you're not freaking out, but to whatever degree it is, has to do with unknowns, right? You're not sure
That's
how
a
to
good
do certain things. You're not sure what decisions even need to be made. You're not sure how much stuff to try and create before it's time, and right?
yeah. That's good. Stress equals unknowns. Continue.
Okay. So let's talk through some of the unknowns. It from the big picture, right? There's like you said, you have to create products. Do you know what they are? Do you know what you want to create? Do you know how many you could have at maximum? How
Okay.
many is minimum? I mean, yeah, talk through that a little bit.
Okay, well, as you can see, right behind me
Yes.
is
Yes.
is a little black table,
Uh-huh.
and on it is what I have so far. This is all my
This
inventory.
is similar
It
in
looks
size to the table you will have at the show.
actually I'll have more at the show, so it'll be a 10 by 10. I think this is
Oh, that's pretty big.
6 feet or something table. So I have more room than this, but I can't even fill this up yet. But
Okay.
but I mean that's okay. I have two prototypes of my little book that I'm working on. I just got the second one in today. Like it's, I get the prototype and then I send changes. Well, I got the second one in. It was supposed to be here like 3 weeks ago. Finally got it in, and it's all wrong. And whatever. Got to call them again, see what happens. I don't know how long it'll take. So that's one unknown thing that I'm kind of nervous about. Anyway, like I was hoping to have that ready by March.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got two prototypes of that, but I need the full order of those in order to sell them.
Right.
I'm going to be making prints of all of my drawings. So that'll be, I don't know, maybe 12 different types of prints. And then also prints of my two paintings that I have, the squid thing and the skull thing. But I need to take those paintings in to be professionally photographed. So I can't start that yet. But anyway, I will have prints. I have stickers. The stickers turned out cool.
Nice.
So I do have those.
Can we
Those are easy.
can we
I
see
can
them?
make.
I mean, you're just sort of pointing at
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
blob, but for all the video podcast enjoyers.
So here's the little book that's still being worked on.
Okay.
This is not finished, but
It's mirrored in
it's
our output, but I
no.
assume that's not.
Well, that's okay. It's kind of fitting for the art
Yeah.
anyway. These are stickers
Cool. They
of
did come out
the
good.
main character.
Nice.
So those are cool. These are my favorite ones. The I don't know if you could
Yeah,
see them
yeah, there
very
we
well,
go.
but they're reversible. So white rabbit on top, black man.
That's
Anyway,
sick.
those are really cool.
Yeah.
And then I have a tote bag.
Ooh, nice.
But the tote bag actually didn't. It's all messed up, and that won't work. So this was just a prototype. I'm just trying to figure out what works.
Yeah.
And then, a
Sure.
print of this painting, which you've seen.
And you said there's 12 paintings that you're gonna do prints of?
Well, 12 drawings. All the drawings that I've been doing for the world building project that's on YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
So I have prints I will make of varying sizes. I don't know much about them yet because I haven't really looked into what paper to use, what size to make them, how much they're going to cost, all that stuff. I got to figure that out. But I'll have prints, I'll have stickers. Hopefully, I'll have tote bags. But right now, I mean, it costs a fortune to just get a little prototype in to see if it works. And then, I don't know, I got to call them back, see
Yeah.
uh, what I can do about that. But I have a list of products that I need to get done, a list of things that I need to do. I guess I just really haven't sat down and plotted it out and figured out like the most basic steps yet. I'm just kind of, floating in this
Yeah.
vagueness.
I'm not a logistics expert or anything, but one thing that is worth understanding, you said you ordered the zine, you got the first prototype, it needed work or needed changes, so you sent it back, and you were one expecting it to come back correct, right? And then you were expecting it to come back 3 weeks ago, and neither of those happened, right?
I was expecting it to come back better, like finished.
Right. Like you were expecting it to be right, and
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
expecting it to come in much
Yes.
sooner. Both of
Yeah.
those things didn't happen, and both of those things are just utterly out of your control. You are not the one on the other end of that interaction.
Correct.
So
Yes.
that could be very stressful, but you have to recognize and understand that those things are part of what's going to happen. It's very unlikely every single separate product path here is all going to click together at exactly the right time. And so, very important to just lay that out and say, I'm not sure what state every single thing is going to be in. You have to just accept the uncertainty there and make sure that none of those things are completely mission critical. If you don't have, I mean, I would just consider the fork in the road there, right? For the zine. Hopefully, you send it back with changes. They send you a new one in a few weeks that looks great, and you say, "Great, print me 100 or 1,000, whatever," and you have those to sell. But it could be that they send you back a version that still isn't right. And then you have to consider, okay, do I try to get to squeeze this in with one more round and hope that it comes in by the deadline because maybe it won't, or do I just go with what I have, get 100 printed, and then do the revision too? But that's a potential conflict. Just lay it out, have it written down, make the decision now, or just at least condense it down into that is the decision you must make when the time comes. But the vague, disconnected, "Oh, I don't know if it's gonna work or if it's gonna be ready or whatever, that stuff sucks. That will eat at you and it's completely unproductive. And considering you're gonna have a bunch of different things all on these parallel tracks of the tote bag, great idea, wasn't right, gotta redo it or drop it, 12 different paintings, got to get those printed. Any one of those or all of them could have issues. You're just going to have to kind of condense these things down from big, blurry, stressful blobs into a simple decision matrix of this could happen or this could happen. What am I going to do? And just keep everything moving forward.
All right. It doesn't sound as complicated anymore. I
That's
think, okay, I think, well, I tried writing down almost everything you said. I think I need an end date for a decision
yeah,
on the book. It's like I either pull the trigger by this date or this is the last day that I have to make the decision.
right.
And it just, halts all revisions on it. So, okay, that's good. I'm circling that. And then I like the term mission critical. If I could have a little, list of critical things, I think that would be nice. Um, Accept the things I cannot control. I'll try to remember that. And don't assume don't assume things. Like me assuming that I could have it by March, that was stupid. Me assuming that it would be finished by now, that was maybe less stupid, but still not. I should have factored in that this would happen,
I
I
would
guess.
try and think about all of this stuff in terms of percentages. Think
Yeah.
I think there's a 60% chance that they will come back with a version of a zine that looks great that I can print. Maybe it's 90%, maybe it's 20%, but just think that way. Don't think,
Yeah.
I think they will and I'm going to follow that path, or I think they won't and I'm going to follow. Just lay it out and think, here's how I would assign these probabilities. What's the probability that this print for this particular painting is going to come back right? 40%,
Yeah.
80, just think that way. And that makes it a lot more, it feels less like the rug is getting yanked out from under you if something happens. You're like, okay, I thought this was unlikely it happened, but we have a path here.
Yeah. Also, I need to remember this is 100% my first show. So the only goal here is to check it off the list. So even if I just show up and have a single sticker for sale, that counts.
Right.
So I mean, that's not what I want, but that would count. And I know that the amount that I'll learn from doing this just the first time is going to be enormous. And no matter how hard I try right now, there's going to be me afterwards saying, oh, well, I would do this differently and this differently and this differently.
Fine.
Like I
Yeah.
will just learn so much after doing this once. So
I
I
would,
should probably chill out a little bit.
yeah. And the way to think about it is your goal is to create the best art table that you can realistically in the next 3 months without killing yourself. So just do that.
Right. If I kill myself, that would kind of
That would be a terrible
that
art
would
table.
ruin the
There
mission.
won't even be one. Yeah. So, uh,
Yeah.
and just on a practical side, is the table really 10 by 10?
The space is 10 by 10.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think like you got to bring your own table. So I got to figure that out.
Okay.
Um,
I would.
but hopefully every week you'll see something added to this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want a giant banner. I want a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
and
Great.
hopefully you'll see it evolve. And I want you to continue yelling at me to,
And if nothing
it's coming
changes
up. You better hurry.
in the next month, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's it for me. What's going on? You got anything?
Yes, actually, we'll just do the same formula here. I'm struggling with something, and I would love some help. So here's where I'm at. This is the same narrative that I've been on for the past month, so nothing super new. But to quickly recap, I moved, got really stressed, decided to try to get myself back on track by pushing super hard, set some really ambitious goals, even within the short term of just, I'm going to work tons of hours every day and be super focused and wake up early and grind and all this stuff. And so I tried that. It worked for a few days and then I just sort of crashed. We talked about it. You said chill out for a couple weeks, just take all the pressure off, which was amazing. So I've had a week or two, I think a week after that, trying to just guide myself back to getting back to work, but trying to do it in a healthier way, a way that feels better. I can feel the novelty and the exploration more, all that stuff, right? So that's kind of the track that I'm on. What I'm struggling with is this fundamental tension between pushing, trying to force myself, exerting my willpower to do things that are difficult, which does appear to be necessary, at least at times, and balancing that with the just discovery and exploration and wanting to feel inspired and motivated and everything. So, in other words, I goofed off for 2 weeks, and part of that was wonderful. Things felt interesting. I tried new stuff. I went new places. I even did some work on my big important projects and it felt great. I felt like, yeah, I want to be doing this. This is fun. But the downside of that mentality is that oftentimes I don't really feel like working really hard on this stuff, or I'm feeling fatigued and so I just think, okay, I'm going to go do something else. And I'm struggling to get I'm struggling to thread that needle to figure out where do I need to be? How hard should I push? How do I get more of my time funneled into the things that I want it to be funneled into, but not feel all those ill effects and the fatigue? Like I want it to feel interesting and exciting and that I love doing it and all of that, right? So it seems like you're, for a while now, have been working very hard. And I know it's not perfect, but it seems like you're doing pretty well with it. You've been very focused. You've been productive. And I know you've been able to dedicate a lot of your time to it. And knock on wood, you're not crashed and burned right now. You're about to go hard for another 3 months. So I guess I'm just looking for advice on how to navigate back to working very hard without burning out again. I guess it's that simple.
Okay. A couple things. One, I'm sensing I'm sensing a y- you're paying too much attention to the story of you. It's a common theme that we talk about, but you have this idea of, being as productive as you were before, right? As you were before a month or 2 months ago or whatever. You have this vision of yourself being super hardworking, super focused all the time, whatever. And you're trying to be that again. Let's just dissolve that completely. That Mike does not exist.
Okay.
Wait, go ahead.
I said, okay, that mic doesn't exist.
Oh,
Got it.
okay. Yeah. All right. Uh, when you let that go, you will no longer beat yourself up about not being super focused, not, working really hard or whatever. So any work you do becomes good work, right? Because even if you're only doing 20% of what you were long ago, um, it's great. That's good. So get rid of the story
Okay.
and just Yeah, for now, just focus on congratulating yourself for doing the 20%. Instead of trying to go from 0 to 10, go from 0 to 2 and be satisfied with that. And then try to go from 2 to 3 for the next week. Just focus on making it one step better, focusing one step harder. And then also simultaneously focus on removing one bad thing at the same time. So remove one of the messy distractions. So delete one app off of your phone or whatever.
Yep.
Go for one, whatever. Remove one negative thing and try to just push yourself in a positive direction, like 5%. And that's it for the day. So legitimately just simplifying all the way down. And then the one thing that has helped me so much in terms of getting rid of that overwhelming story part of you that you're always comparing yourself to, and a bunch of other things, is to just every day, and I've told you this before, but every day just write down what is the most important 2 to 3 things I have to do today. Write those down and then drop everything else. And that's the advice I should give myself when it comes to all this stuff that I'm complaining about. It's like, what do you do today? And that is it. You live in the pocket of today and nowhere else. And when you do that, you stop thinking about, oh, am I the most productive person on the planet? Am I operating on whatever? Like you stop thinking about the story and you just focus on the 2 to 3 things that are most important for that one single day. And that's it. And usually it takes the whole day to do those 2 or 3 things. And that it perfectly shows you what is negative and what is positive, and what is a distraction and what is important. And so it doesn't become this matter of, am I like this being that's, I don't know, super focused or super productive or whatever. You step outside the story and you just have this clear distinction of important and distraction. And one of those important things could be, like, for me yesterday, it was to go to the grocery store. That was one of the 3 things. One was to write a biography or an autobiography for myself for this thing that I want to tell you about, but I'm not going to tell you about yet. So yesterday it was writing, which took me many hours, and it was the zine, the book, is to get that and review it and form an email and everything. So it was writing the book and go to the grocery store. And I definitely did other things during the day. but like as soon as you're on the computer or something, you're like, oh nope, this is a distraction, and you go right back. You follow your compass of those 2 to 3 things. Anyway, that's a start.
I like that. I like the idea of trying to think about the 2 ends of it, adding something that's positive, exerting good effort on something that matters, and then also trying to eliminate negative things. So I do like that. And I will say, I didn't even think about this, but this week I put back together my fitness routine for the most part. So I went for a jog twice, I lifted twice, signed up with a new gym membership since we moved. I don't have the home gym anymore, so went and did that. So I'm at least I've got that in place at least for the week, and plans to lift again tomorrow and everything. So that's a big positive that I did manage to do this week. So that's worth feeling good about, I guess. So
One thing that always stuck with me that you said like years ago was, if your goal is to, be the strongest person in the world, or work out consistently, be super strong and fit and everything, it's like, don't start with a heavy workout routine. Just walk into the gym and walk out, and that will be your first day.
yeah,
You go for the absolute minimum because you're working on consistency. You're working on removing the fear. You're working on just getting into the movement and getting into the routine. And that's all you need to do right now. Is just the one little step,
Okay.
and that's it.
I like that.
So
I like that.
yeah.
I think in part of this coming back process, I've been doing things and I've been sitting down and working and focusing, but it's like the more important the project is to me, the harder it is to get myself situated and working on it, which is exactly opposite of what you said, writing on the most important things and working on them. But there's been this stuff on the outside where thinking, I this week, for whatever reason, I got so fascinated learning about electromagnetism and motor design and all these different physical concepts. And I spent hours just reading articles and watching videos and learning about this stuff, which was great. It's the kind of thing that I've wanted to learn about for a long time. And I actually do feel like I have a pretty decent understanding of some of these things now. But it's not super relevant to really anything I'm trying to do. It was just learning about something and being curious. And I'm not sad that I did it, but it's still interesting that I did that. I did actually write a blog post and published it this week. Didn't spend very long on it, but I did it. But I just kind of like
Good
been
job.
drifting around, hitting everything on the edges. But I have not spent, I don't think, any time this week working on the really core stuff, the trying to fix software type of projects.
Okay. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the 2 to 3 most important things.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard to explain. You're saying that when things become super important, they become harder to do.
Mhm.
So labeling them as the 2 or 3 most important things to do that day would be a bad thing because it would make them feel more important, right?
In this, yes,
Okay.
with this logic, yes, it would.
It's not okay. I do not believe that it is the importantness of them that makes them hard to do.
Importance?
Importance. It's not that they're important. God, I can't. How do you make that sentence? It's not that they're important. It's not that their importantness is what makes them hard to do. It's that you get a little nervous when it is important, when it is
Yep.
meaningful or whatever, or hard to do. Like it's just hard to focus for that long or whatever. So you get nervous about that, so you avoid it, maybe just a little bit, and then you avoid it a little bit more. Avoidance is like holding a magnifying glass to the scary thing. Every time you walk away, every time you avoid the thing, it gets bigger. Every single time. This works for phobias. When you avoid something, like you avoid flying or you avoid a spider, you run away from a spider. Every time you do that, the fear gets bigger because it's become more and more powerful. It's a thing
Mhm.
you have, like you run away from
Yeah.
a spider one time, it's only defeated you once. You run away from it 100 times, the spider has defeated you 100 times. So it's 100 times more powerful.
Yeah.
So when you avoid those important things, they get harder and harder and harder to do. They've beaten you more times.
The guilt snowball, that was one of our first episodes.
Yes, exactly. It's the guilt snowball. It just gets bigger and bigger the more you run from it. That's what's happening. So the cure for this, I believe, is doing the 2 or 3 most important things for the day because it stops you from avoiding those things. It keeps, like, they're still hard to do, but you can't avoid them, and therefore they can't get bigger and scarier,
Mhm.
and you can't run. You must do them today. And so it's not that you're raising like their importance and their significance so much. It's actually the opposite. You're saying, no, you need to do this today. It's just a daily task.
Mhm.
It's your most important daily task of the day. You need to get it done. You cannot avoid this. Just get it done. And in doing so, you gain this strength and this confidence that you've overcome these important things every day, that you just can't stop. Okay, maybe you can stop, but
No,
it feels really
yeah,
good.
I like that.
You follow?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the spider thing of it sort of builds up in scariness the more you run away. I think what I'll probably try to do is do the important things, but I'll probably just keep it short. Maybe just do a small session, get my head in it a little bit without committing to grinding it out, solving the hardest
Yeah.
problems for a 6-hour session or something, which is what I was trying to do before. I'll just work on it a bit, chip away, and then
So
that's it.
your most important thing for that day would
Mhm.
be to just take a chip out of it.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay, we can wrap it. We can wrap
Okay,
it there.
all right. Thank you. That was very helpful. All right, real quick to recap. For you, your job in trying to get this big project done in the next 3 months is to eliminate all of the unknowns or as many as you can, try and get it all out in front of you, figure out what the decisions are, figure out what decisions you can make now versus later, try and think of
You want
percentages.
me to read them? I wrote all these down.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 that's
So
fine.
it's so stress equals unknowns typically in this case. So if I'm feeling stressed, it's that there's just something that I don't know how to do, and the way to solve that is to just start cracking away at it, making lists, get involved, ask people for help or
Yeah.
whatever, and just solve it. Um, don't assume stupid things. So don't assume your book's going to be done if you don't know that. Instead, think in terms of percentages. I really like that. That was a good suggestion.
Cool.
Think in terms of percentages of 80% it gets done, 20% maybe it comes back, and it's not right. Um, and then thinking in terms of like what is mission critical. I like that. Makes it sound super
Yeah.
serious. Uh, and I need to find an end date for the whatever. Bunch of little things. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me.
Great. Okay. And I wrote down what you told me. So you said no
Okay.
stories. That probably could just be said every time we talk about anything. Just don't tell a story. I continually like that. You said hit it from both ends, try and add a good thing, try and remove a bad thing. I like that a lot. I'm already thinking about what I can get rid of, what I can add. You said write down the important things, identify what matters, and as we refine that, just try and take a chip out of it. Like to start with, walk into the gym and walk out. Just that's important. Just do it, but it doesn't have to be more than that. That I think is super helpful. And then I like the metaphor of if you run away from the spider, it gets scarier over time, which I have been doing. So great. Okay. So that all sounds good. I think we're done for today. We do kind of still need some challenge ideas. We were a little lax on that this week. So if anybody has ideas for challenges, please let us know. Remember, you can leave us comments on YouTube, on the podcast platforms. You can join our Discord and hang out. Otherwise, thanks for hanging. We will see you next